if we wanted to.
Oh yeah. Britannia has been done up as ultra, even even more ultra sexy than in the past.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right.
They've got the two cartoonists there, have they?
Well, yeah, they have them. They have them, and they had them in the other two as well. Caricatures. So this is Orlando, and this is another character. If we want to go through the specific characters and where they are and what conflict this is, because of course on this Earth, things are pretty different politically and in the world from ours. And they're using the analogies that are taken from movies and television and novels. But anyway, and every one of the titles, by the way, is a song that was common in the period. I think the last one was titled "Paint It Black," and of course, 1910 was the Three Penny Opera song, which I've forgotten already.
Mackie Messer.
What keeps mankind alive? That was it. Yeah.
The Beast Children in Need.
So this is.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny too.
Oh, in olden times, the critical factor was calories. Getting enough calories, and anything was possible. Not getting enough calories, and you're stuffed. You're gone.
And all of the advertisements, of course, have something to do with something. So he's coming back, and this is an interesting part where we actually see the transformation, where Orlando goes from male to female. Interesting. We actually caught a glimpse of that. Here's what happened to Jack Nemo 40 years later. And Prospero comes in and not happy that hasn't been a lot of activity on the whole find Oliver Haddo and stop him from creating the Moonchild project. Tells Orlando to go retrieve Mina from the asylum, and she passes by Alan Quatermain, not even realizing it. Okay, yeah, all right. So now she goes into MI5 looking for M. Now, I'm going to guess, at least you, Stephen, you figured out all of this, right?
Oh, well, I'm a bit rusty these days.
These are, well, it's pretty obvious. These are.
That looks like Daniel Craig.
That's a Daniel Craig, and I believe
Bonds.
that would be Roger Moore. But so that's Roger Moore, James Bond, and that's the Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Oh yeah.
Roger Moore's looking a little bit old.
Well, it's 2009. Yeah, the idea being that the 007 position is, of course, constantly being taken up by new agents. And so Orlando meets with M. Well, let's keep going here. Well, let's just give it away. Stephen, I'm sure you can figure this out, right? You know who M is.
I'm a little bit rusty, so I don't keep up with a lot of the modern media. You might have more luck.
No, you don't.
Stuff.
You don't have to on this one because. Well, let's see. Let's see what we got. Oh no, that was much later. I'm thinking of something. Okay, okay. No, it's right there. It's right there. Right there. The picture. Okay, it's this is Emma Peel from the
Oh, Emma
Okay.
Peel.
this is Emma Peel from the Avengers,
Yes. I would have got it on multiple choice.
which you would, which some of the dialogue is referencing this here.
Okay. Yeah.
When she says, "I thought you'd be Miss Murray or her daughter." I met Miss Murray or her daughter in 1958 when I was younger and much prettier. The 1958 story was in the Black Dossier, which we skipped over. We didn't read that. So that would have given it away if we had read that. I think that's another Bond. I think that might be Lazenby, actually.
Mm.
I think so. Well, okay, that's worth it. That's worth going through, I think. Okay, let's try to find this. Okay, yeah. So it must be George Lazenby. On Her Majesty's Secret Service was 1969. Now, why is there a portrait of George Lazenby? Okay. Why was there a portrait of George Lazenby in Emma Peel's office? Because Diana Rigg plays Tracy Bond in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, what she's saying here is, I thought she murdered my Uncle Hugo. And recently, a disenchanted CIA operative named Weston contacted us. He revealed that America had used a British agent to assassinate my father, Sir John Knight. The same agent who partnered me against Miss Murray. I realized he probably killed my godfather, too. Okay. Now, Contessa Teresa de Vincenzo marries James Bond in the movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service. The short marriage ends in a drive-by shooting, leaving Tracy dead, a bullet-ridden car, and a Bond with no trace of a wound.
Yeah.
So the supposition is here in this world that might have been where, or it must have been where that particular James Bond would have died in that drive-by shooting. Hence the portrait. That would be her. So that would be her dead husband in this world. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be too much out of it to theorise all that. You know, I've watched the James Bond films occasionally, but they don't always stick in my memory that much. I've probably seen just about them all.
Right.
Some people I know are absolute, James Bond junkies. Got to watch, get the whole collection and watch every movie. And
okay, sorry about that, Natalia. Didn't notice the notice. Okay, there we go. So let's see what we got here. Since Emma Peel is now, obviously much older, visually influenced by Judi Dench as M in the current James Bond films. The book at her right elbows is, in fact, the Black Dossier. The book in front of her is the New Traveler's Almanac. And apparently the spiked collar is from the A Touch of Brimstone episode of The Avengers. Okay. The Weston that she's talking about is Michael Weston, protagonist of the show the TV show Burn Notice. As I say, yeah, you can just keep going on and on like this. Now, when she says here, what happened to the agent? Cirrhosis, emphysema, syphilis. He's 90 something and in agony. We're keeping him alive. It's the least I can do. That would be. That
Sean
would,
Connery.
yeah, I think so. Does it say specifically?
Oh, he just died a couple of weeks ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
A week or two
Yeah,
ago.
he did. Yeah.
And none of you have seen Zardoz.
No,
That
I've
Oh, you have?
seen a few minutes.
I have not.
I think I've seen a few minutes of it.
Oh, it's a film that's full of a lot of classic literature ideas.
Oh, this was the one where we watched a little bit of it, first time, or at least 2 or 3 times ago. Yeah, we watched it.
Might have put on a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit where the Zardoz head statue comes down and delivers guns to all the barbarians. So one for the gun lobby there.
Yeah. So here she explains, yeah, he'd become something of a national institution. We've employed increasingly younger stand-ins, keeping the propaganda myth going, like J3 and J6, for example. Younger and younger bonds every time. Okay. All right. And where she says, both UNIT and our Cardiff enterprises are anticipating a major occult event.
Oh, UNIT, that's out of Doctor Who.
And well, both, but they're both UNIT and Cardiff.
Cardiff's,
Torchwood.
yeah, Torchwood. Yeah,
Torchwood.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I watched the first episode and then didn't keep going with that one, but I did watch the first one. Okay, so all of these statues or something as well. We don't have time to go into it. And Orlando makes the offer to Emma Peel to take her to the well of immortality.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. We've got a shark floating in the background there, and a skeleton. What is that all?
You're okay. If you really want to know, just ask, and I'll see if I can find.
So
Okay,
it's just they're at the museum or something, are they?
Yeah, that's a famous British contemporary art piece. Is a shark encased in glass. But I'm usually off on the references.
Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, I think this was we shouldn't have skipped this panel here. I mean, this is. I'll just go ahead and read all of it here. Far right in the blue jacket is George. That would be George Lazenby.
Yeah.
Green waistcoat and gray suit might be Sean Connery. Okay, from left to right, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan doing the adjustment of his tie. Then Sean Connery without the hairpiece. Then George Lazenby, and on the right is George. Yeah, that's 1969 On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Okay. Okay. All right. So down here, what we have is, I think that we have the stuffed body of Rupert the bear.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's Rupert the bear, and that is Tiger Tim, I guess. Okay. Okay, so it's not really certain who the skeleton is, but there's a idea that might be Mr. Hyde's skeleton.
Oh, right. Okay.
It might be, but yeah, we don't have a definitive idea on that one. That I think the consensus is that shark is Hookjaw from the UK comic Action, who had a gaff hook stuck in his jaw, And there's the hook right there. So that's, I guess, from the comic action Hook Jaw. Okay. Yeah, I mean, really obscure, really obscure. And there's one of the tripods from War of the Worlds. I
It's
think
not in that scene, though, is it? Oh,
a
there we
Martian lander. Yeah, I mean, if we want, we could probably do the earlier books, and if you really want to go over them, they're fun too. It's really the same as this. Just
So what's it with the title Big Blanket?
Big Blanket.
We have them on the streets of Melbourne, homeless men selling magazines. You know, there's an institution around the world now.
Uh-huh.
So Alan Quatermain's been reduced to beggary.
Doesn't say what. Yeah, it doesn't say what the big blanket is a reference to. Maybe it's not. Okay, so she finally recognizes that is, in fact, Alan Quatermain. He doesn't want any part of it. Yeah, he's fallen on hard times just a bit. Okay, so she goes.
The crowd scene's got me there. Track back to the crowd scene, please.
Yeah, I think we could do some of those.
Who the hell's the one with the microphone? Sort of reminds me of somebody.
Okay.
And what's the song? I assume it's a song.
Okay, yeah, but to do that one, I'm gonna have to.
Actually, it looks a bit like the secretary out of Absolutely Fabulous.
Yeah, okay, all right. So let's just see if we can. Did we skip part of where the singer was in? Yeah, because there's.
That looks see that one like Sauron's eye again. Did you notice Sauron's eye? There's an image that looks a bit like a poster with a keyhole image on it. And,
I think the actual newspaper that is actually sold by homeless people is called The Big Issue.
Ah, right.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, and that's worth pointing out. That's Malcolm Tucker, played by Peter Capaldi on the TV show The Thick of It, which I started watching and haven't finished. Okay. No, I'm gonna do this here. All right. Okay. Okay. So the singer is all right. Spooky Tawdry, which is a play on Suki Tawdry, who we saw from Threepenny.
Yeah, that's Threepenny. Yeah.
Suki Tawdry. This is Spooky Tawdry. And if you remember in 1969, at the end, it was Zuki and the Tawdrys.
Ah, okay.
So this is someone named Spooky Tawdry. All right. Now, the song Okay, finally found it. Is based on. Here we go. Okay, the song being sung is based on Weil and Brecht's Canon song, again from Threepenny Opera.
Hmm.
And I have the lyrics here. I guess we don't need to go through it, unless I could probably pull it up on YouTube.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And so this is what the song is that she's singing. It's not exactly the right version, but it's a variation on it. Okay. Anything else about that? No, I guess not. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So it's a rewritten version of the canon song from Threepenny Opera. Okay, so we go back here. Yeah, so it's the same song, definitely. Okay, but I want to see if... Okay, well now, where were we? Yeah, okay, all right. Let's see. Now, oh. Okay, yeah, Lord Greystoke, Tarzan. Okay, so she retrieves Excalibur and gives M the location of the Well of Immortality in Africa. Now she goes to Coots Center for Psychiatric Wellbeing.
Sigmund Freud.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So they go.
Mm-hmm.
And she's apparently been here the whole time. Now, all of this, if you had read the story that's running in the back of the issue, and you don't have to, but that's all references there to there's a crossover between that story and
check the portrait just before that, the dominatrix.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if you need to, this is the whole thing about what this is
looking surprisingly like the chief psychiatrist or whatever.
Right. Notation. Oh, here we go. Okay. Something on oocities.org. For goodness sake. Finally. All right. The anonymously authored Victorian-era work of erotica, The Yellow Room, which starred the lusty heiress Rosa Coote. Rosa Coote also appeared in a series called Miss Coote's Confession, which appeared in the magazine The Pearl in the 1880s. So this would be presumably a granddaughter or a great-granddaughter.
So what was the upshot of these entries in these rather ancient era magazines?
Well, these were sex stories, obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have read some of the primitive sort of sex stories from the 19th century, most quaint, you'd have to say.
Yeah. So this is obviously a descendant. And the institution has been going the whole way through. All right, so she
happened to her neck. There's like
scars.
This is Wilhelmina Murray. Have you ever? I presume
she's from the Vampire
Bram
Bites.
Stoker's Vampire, or
that's why she wore the scarf all the time.
Yeah, she was the one.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
Wilhelmina Murray from Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you haven't read the book, but I'm sure you must have seen a movie about Dracula. This is her. And so that's why her neck has been mutilated.
I see.
Why she's always wearing a scarf.
Oh, yeah, that explains it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Orlando updates Mina about what's been going on. They decide they make a plan to go to Norton, who we saw in the last couple of books, to see. And first they're going to try to get Alan. And here is the song they sing is, I think, another Threepenny Opera song, which I believe is nope, not going to do it easily for me. No, that would be too easy. No, they can't. That's right. No, the No They Can't song from the Threepenny Opera. Okay. Now, where am I? Let me just try to find where I am first.
Well, they got an Islamic ninja there for some
Page
reason.
32. That's from, if you ever watched 30 Rock, Tracy Jordan.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Tracy Jordan, right?
Oh, you watched 30 Rock? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's his name. Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy Jordan. Yeah. All right. I just want to get myself oriented so I know where I am. Okay, so page 32. It's 2 down always. I'll have to remember that. Okay, so this is page 33. Okay. Yeah, need to be oriented. Okay, so this is they sing the No They Can't song from the Threepenny Opera. All right, 33, 34. Okay. Okay, again, everybody here is somebody. Let me see. Okay. So they go to Norton here we go. Here's at the time it was 2009, and so Matt Smith was the current doctor at the moment, and he's side by side with William Hartnell, just in the background, foreground and in the background. So both of them, Matt Smith and William Hartnell. And not interesting that they're there in the panels where Norton, another time traveling character, pops in. Okay, so they go to Norton. I'm interested enough to see who they are. 36.
So who are those two there standing out at the front of King's Cross? They look a bit familiar.
Yeah, that is 36. I said 36. Yeah, that's from the TV show Spooks. Sir Henry Pierce.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Ruth
I did
Evershed,
watch that, yeah.
played by Peter Firth and Nicola Walker from the show Spooks. Okay. So they go into King's Cross train station, and
You got one of the Bobby robots.
maybe.
The policemen look like robots.
39.
Oh, yeah.
Standing in front of the pillar.
So when he says Brutus establishes a numinous dynasty, Lear, Balud, Lud, Brutus, first king of Britain, Lear, that's from Shakespeare, Bladdud, that's what it is. Bladdud is the 10th ruler of Britain. Lud would be Lud, son of Heli, another legendary British king. Geoffrey of Monmouth claimed spuriously that Ludgate Hill was named after Lud, who also lends his name to Ian Sinclair's epic poem Lud Heat. And of course, this is Andrew Norton, who is Ian Sinclair, of course. Anyway, it gives some history about that. All right, so they go into this hidden area, magically hidden area of the train station, and here we have, of course, this utter ruin and devastation here. What is it? It was a transport to an invisible college. I'm hoping everyone's catching what's going on here. Yes, no?
Yes, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Harry Potter. That's exactly right. And if you you've read the whole thing, so obviously what we're gonna come here. Let's see, where are we? Now the thing is, this is the meat of the whole book that we're doing here, of course. So the Antichrist, he studied occultism at the school, Hogwarts. After graduating, he rode this train home. Apparently, he survived the journey. No one else did. So all these remains are fellow pupilers, co-travelers, or whoever was unlucky enough to be on the platform when he rolled in. Collateral damage. Is he in London? Perhaps. Wouldn't that mean going to the school? How do we get there? This is just wreckage. It worked when we got there. I mean, these aren't proper controls. I assume it runs on sloppily defined magical principles. Yeah. I mean, Alan Moore is going to be making a very specific point here throughout this book. And he's just getting started here. He's just getting started. We'll get to it when he really gets rolling. But yeah, he's clearly making his opinion known about what's the state of current modern contemporary culture. Okay, so they go, because you can still use the train because it's not actual technology, it's all magic and everything's going on here. Okay, so they arrive at the outside of Hogwarts. Everything here going on. Here's Hogwarts, been ruined. And they go inside, and yeah, so we can see what happened. And we get flashbacks. So there's everybody, Ginny Weasley and Rupert and all the guys, all of the kids. I'm somebody who's never read the books and has never watched the movies. So let's see. Okay.
But you can't.
Ron
You
Weasley.
can't avoid it.
Ron
It will
Weasley.
come to you.
Oh, they were on cable, and I would watch maybe 10 minutes or so. I mean, I can figure out.
I'm not saying I enjoyed them, but it's so much in the culture that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I haven't watched all the movies. I've watched a bit of some of them. Yeah, probably a few I've seen.
Okay, so specifically, the blonde is Draco Malfoy. That's Ron Weasley, and that's Hermione Granger. Okay. And apparently, when she's saying "I want my mom," that's a reference because in the Deathly Hallows, she erased her mother's memory of her, so it's a futile plea. Could also be a double meaning of crying to her mother, J.K. Rowling, her real mother, which would be J.K. Rowling. Rowling in interviews has stated that Hermione is a version of herself when she was younger. So there we go. All right, and the uniforms worn are apparently a reference to WizTech, the Disney's Wizards of Waverly Place, which is a parody of Harry Potter.
I was once shown this video called "The Worst Witch," which I didn't bother to watch, or I didn't bother to buy either. But I think somebody grabbed it. So you have this theme running again in a certain genre.
Yeah. And you have some of the teacher. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different Harry Potter takeoffs involved in here, actually. These are various teachers from Hogwarts. Let's see what we got. Okay, Scream in the background. That's from a comic strip. Everything is a reference to something. Okay. 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 So as they're exploring, we see what actually happened back when Harry was on his rampage. Must have been a number of years ago, or perhaps relatively recently. But and there we have Voldemort, who we know, of course, from last book is Oliver Haddo, who has possessed him and has been possessing him this whole time. And so he's been orchestrating this plan the whole time. And not gone quite so well for him. You really are a tremendous disappointment. Yeah. Okay.
He's getting back at his own parents by telling his potential son that he's a disappointment.
Possibly.
I imagine Aleister Crowley would have been a huge disappointment to his parents. Because he is more or less a member of the British upper crust, Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Wait a minute. Am I on the right? No. Okay. So this is 47. So I should be on 45. Okay. That one says Will Stanton on the folder there. Will Stanton. That's from Susan Cooper's Dark is Rising novels, which is about an 11-year-old sorcerer. So that's Will Stanton. See, I mean, it's amazing how much is packed in here. Okay. Okay. Oh, and A Button. Now, no one's going to get that one. A Button. Anybody? No, no one will ever get that one because in The Simpsons, Lisa Simpson is a fan of the Angelica Button series, which is a reference to Harry Potter, which is a parody of Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
In The Simpsons. That's Angelica Button. I told you every possible Harry Potter parody was put in here. If you really go into it. Yeah. And here we have, look at what we have. We have Harry himself, our Antichrist. Turns out Harry Potter was the Moonchild of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, he's not doing well, is he? No, of course he wouldn't be. Okay. And all right.
Wait, that was Voldemort's head, wasn't it? That he in the
Yeah, that's right. Well, when he decapitated Voldemort, who is of course Oliver Haddo in Voldemort's body, and he took Voldemort's head for safekeeping, I guess. All right. So they meet with Prospero. Yeah, and those two are Ariel and Caliban. I'm sure you probably figured that out, assuming you're familiar with the Tempest. Okay. Alan Quatermain. Yeah, definitely not doing well at all. Okay, so let's get to the big battle, the big fight. We three books all building up to this one. The big confrontation with the Antichrist, the Moonchild, Harry Potter. Now, the reason for the bandage, if you missed that, was he scraped off the the mark. That's what the bandage is.
Oh,
You know, he yeah, I scraped the mark off with my own hands. if you didn't catch that. Okay, so let's get to the big climax of three books, all leading up to this huge fight. And interesting to point out. Okay, and who are you? I thought you'd at least be Jesus or an angel or somebody. You're just women.
just
Here's the head I said about it's Minjing, isn't it? The education system's really let me down. Let me see if I can. Okay, so the point we keep trying to make here is the subtext that we're trying to get at here is, well, clearly, obviously, all this is Alan Moore's opinion, but the idea is that contemporary modern culture exists in a, well, let's say, a fairly more degraded, less enlightened position than contemporary popular culture did in the past. So this whole thing subtextually is a fight between the two perspectives: contemporary modern culture, as represented by Harry Potter and all the rest, and the culture, previous culture. Now, in this fight, he's making the point that there is one positive, because clearly you've got the confrontation between Harry Potter and two women, as he points out. Who are you? You're just women. So the point being that contemporary culture is by far more enlightened and encouraging and supportive of strong female characters today than it has ever been. And so that we can look to as a positive being. And in the end, the strong female characters are, of course, the heroes of this entire book, and in fact prevail at the end. And by the end of the book, the only other male character is Alan Quartermain, who dies. So, you know, I would say that is actually a positive message going.
Why would you say it's a positive message?
Well, again, you know, opinions being what they are.
You've just you've best been given a card. You've been given the 10 commandments of the new religion. Thou shalt promote females over all others. So you simply follow this XY graph and mistake it for morality.
No question about it. All these things are debatable. You might have an opinion. Somebody else has a different opinion. That's the way opinions are. That's the way opinions work. Some people think, yeah, it would be a good thing to have more encouraging, strong female characters, and some other people.
Well, I was referring to the means via which they come to this opinion, and what are the motives is the question. Well, now Nietzsche would piss on it all.
Probably. Yeah, so we have Mina, who is at the beginning of the whole League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. She was the only woman, but she was the leader. And now, by the end, we have a team made entirely of women who are the heroes. And the only males that die are the villain, Harry Potter, and Alan Quartermain, the other hero, male hero. So the day is saved by a female magical character. The only two female characters survive, and the characters who help the League are all female, led by Emma Peel, who is a pioneer for strong, capable female heroes. So anyway, you know, they just to reinforce the point. Okay, so we go on. So Excalibur sends out the signal. As Prospero said, the help would be coming. Okay. I think all these are characters too. And here we have, I think that would be in fact James Bond, page 56. Presumably that's the original James Bond, presumably now 90.
So I've got a pandemonium on the streets of London again.
Right.
Now, I noticed you got the guy out of Little Britain there.
Yeah, you got it. You got it exactly. Vicky Pollard from Little Britain, Matt Lucas, Swiss Tony, Charlie Higson from the Fast.
Oh yeah, must be a relative.
From the Fast Show. Suits you, sir. Suits you, sir. Paul Whitehouse. Ken Paul Whitehouse from the Fast Show. And Lou Todd, David Walliams, and Andy Pipkin, Matt Lucas from Little Britain. Now the joke is, of course, because Andy has always pretended to be disabled, and so when he's that's the joke.
When he's in a panic, he's out of his wheelchair.
Yeah, running away, and you can see Lou is looking surprised about that. Yeah. The blonde girl maybe is Vicky Pollard's mother, played by Dawn French from Little Britain Abroad and 2 Christmas specials from 2006.
No, I see you've been watching your Little Britain in great depth, haven't you? You must have the DVD collection or something.
You know, I mean, I've always liked British television, actually. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Now, I don't suppose anybody ever watched the TV show Heroes.
A little bit, not much.
That is Hiro Nakamura from Heroes, and that I think is Adam Monroe, also from Heroes. The point being that they are the 2 time travel characters in the show Heroes. So that you have because
so what are they doing? They're using their mobile phones to take pictures of the disastrous sky, are they?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think that's what's going on there. Yeah. Or, yeah, okay. All right. So let's move on here. Here we have Jack. We get a cutaway to Jack Nemo. That would be now the original Captain Nemo's, I think, great grandson. I guess this would be. Let's see. Okay.
Well, this seems to be a comic that's aimed pretty much just at fandom, isn't it?
I think really it's just let's see how much fun we can have, and I think they had a lot of fun trying to do this. You know?
So we wonder what the significance of all the eyes is.
I'm not sure there's much of a significance. It's just supposed to be creepy, I guess. I'm not totally sure. Well, maybe
I think there is a significance there.
Okay.
You know, that's something satanic when other parts of the body become eyes. They say.
Wait, did you guys? Yep. Sorry, finish.
Yeah, go on, Matteo.
No, the eyeball on the hand scene reminds me of that. Yeah, the scene from Pan's Labyrinth. If you guys have ever watched it, the monster.
What's that?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth, right?
Yeah. There's this monster.
I have seen it. Yeah. It's been a while. Yeah.
He put like his eyeballs on his hands and yeah.
You ever seen Pan's Labyrinth? Any of the others?
Yeah, I saw it a long time ago. Yeah, that's right.
This reminds me.
Yeah, I want to make a movie where the fascists are the good guys.
Says the fastest Democrat.
Okay, so Alan Quartermain comes in and is pretty useless. He doesn't do anything for against Harry Potter, and okay, pretty obvious.
He shoots him full of a couple of big holes. Shoots away half his head, but it isn't enough.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
And then Harry Potter exposes himself. That's
well, yeah. I mean, yeah. The whole point is, of course, the wand is a penis, after all.
Oh, and I just realized he urinated the thunder mark on his forehead that he covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the whole point that the wand is a phallic symbol, and we're just making subtext text on this.
Mm.
Okay, and at the death of Alan Quartermain, and
Mm.
and here was what the signal was. Here we got, yeah. Who the fuck are you? Oh, I think
Yeah,
you.
who's
Yeah, we'll let Matalia try and guess who this is. It's your opportunity, Matalia. You might be struggling with this one.
Oh Christ, this is bad. This is really bad. Who the fuck are you? Oh, I think you know. I have a great many responsibilities. Foremost among these, however, is my concern for children. I am concerned regarding their well-being and the healthy development of their imaginations. I am concerned regarding their behavior, and I'm afraid, young man, that I don't care for you at all. I could actually do a better British accent, but yeah.
Yeah, I realised when I saw the bird head on the umbrella.
Yeah. So it's Harry Potter versus Mary Poppins.
Hey, Matalia, you haven't ever seen Mary Poppins, have you?
Mary? No, I haven't seen it, but I know Mary.
There was
Poppins.
actually there's a new version of the movie which I saw a year
Really?
or two ago.
Oh.
Yeah, but the original is quite famous with Julie Andrews. Very, very much
Yeah.
it's a bit like My Fair Lady was another brilliant, movie musical. You ever seen that one, Matalia?
No, I haven't seen my favorite.
Oh, you
the-
really should. You really should watch that. That's very good.
All right then.
Sound of Music's another big famous one, but it didn't have any magic in it in the normal.
Okay.
Of course, this is the tragedy that all this great stuff came out in the 1960s, and we're still stuck with our greatest icons being stuff like from the 1960s. It's pretty tragic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like an axial age, where everything great came out and nothing much came out. They just duplicated it forever after.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point he's trying to make. But you know how some movies, they say you hear your whole life are really, really good, and you watch them and then they're not really that good. You know that? And then some movies you watch and it turns out they are as good. My Fair Lady is one of those. Everybody says My Fair Lady is a great movie. And then you watch it and then you realize, oh, wow. Yeah, it really is as good as everybody says it is. It really is. Yeah. My Fair Lady. You should watch it.
Well, they had the correct attitude to women, though. That was its great advantage.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so
Watch the Time Machine.
So it's Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, Matalia is just trying to acquaint herself with the Time Machine movies. She watched the 1960 classic.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty. It was.
Tab. Who was in the Time Machine? Tab. Somebody.
Oh, that was what was his name? Rod Taylor.
Rod Taylor.
1960.
Rod Taylor.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yvette Mimieux. Remember her?
Mimieux.
Your little blondes who was very popular.
Okay.
So what's with the red and green glasses? They're the 3D glasses, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the point being that all these characters come from what's called the Blazing World, and that's a higher dimensional reality. I mean, this is how what happens with they do a lot of playing with dimension, and so they have subtracted one dimension from the Moonchild here, and that's why he's two-dimensional. But in a higher dimensional reality, you have to have those the green and red to go into a four-dimensional spatial world. That's something like that.
So this comic indicates some Harry Potter hatred.
The point he's making is that contemporary culture is nowhere near what it used to be, and exists in a much much more degraded state than today, as the whole battle is, Harry Potter versus Mary Poppins, and Mary Poppins wins. And clearly, yeah, they're trying to make a point here.
Yeah, the weird bit with Matala is that the Mary Poppins and My Fair Lady would be straight up her alley, because Matala loves all that sort of 19th century stuff, the top hats and
Yeah.
the outfits of that era and everything, and the manners.
Yeah. Mhm.
And of course, the comic book world is Nietzsche's predicted degeneracy.
The earlier books did take place in the 19th century England. So if you want, you could probably read those. And yeah.
Well, she does make the comments about, the now the growing poverty again.
Right.
She's talking about the 1909 poverty, and she said, but that was still a world of hope.
Yeah.
They might have been poor, but they still had hope. And then 1969, seemed to be the high point. And then in 2009, as the poverty is coming back, but with hopelessness, with nihilism.
Yeah. And she gives the whole thing.
Yeah.
All of these people are different people. Ex-agent who's some experience as a flight instructor. She'll be getting us out of the country. We're all tremendously loyal to each other. I suppose it's that we all used to be in love with the same man, and that's reference to John Steed, of course.
In love with the masculine ideal, which has died out.
John Steed, yeah, maybe.
The masculine ideal is now a ghost.
Yeah, maybe. To each their own. If it works for you, go for it. But anyway, so they go to Uganda to bury Alan Quatermain. Or I don't know if this is Uganda, but anyway, they're on their way anyway. So they bury him, and all of these graves here are different jungle themed characters. Okay. And they go off to presumably the Well of Immortality, and here's the story, the end of this particular story. Yeah.
If they go in what happened, I remember in the movie version, it was a flame, but if you entered in the flame the second time, it took away the power. So if they jumped in the Well of Immortality again, would it take away the power?
Good question.
It might. And so there you go. So that is the Century book of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now, since you, Stephen, requested that we do the further adventures of Captain Nemo, I got that set for 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
So that would be, and then I guess we'll do the Nemo adventures, because I haven't read those either, and I won't.
So that's just one book, is it?
No, that's another 3-parter.
Oh, another 3-parter. I get it, right.
But we'll do it. My idea was we have the American holiday Thanksgiving coming up, and I figured I'll just don't have one for that week. But since you guys are Australians, it doesn't matter to you. So we'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll do Nemo. Unless you want to bump it up to next week. Do you want to bump it up to next week?
Yeah, I have to say that really the Century comic book series, I think, is just a sort of a visual. You're saying the artwork is probably the strongest point of it. But story-wise, it's really just a little more than a bit of satire, I think. It's really not as a story. It's not really redemptive, is it? It's.
Well, it's well plotted. Maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd rather move on to something else.
You mean other than Nemo, or?
Yeah, I don't know, something a bit more authentic. I'd say the Century series fails on authenticity.
All right, I'll put Nemo on for next year sometime then, if that's the case. Okay.
Yeah, you might need a rest from the Century series, I think, after three of them.
All right. All right. But I do want to read the Nemo books. So okay, that's fine by me. Okay, so then in that case, next week what we have is well, Beautiful Darkness. You weren't here for Beautiful Darkness, but the creators of that one did another book called Satania, and that's the one I have next week. Again, I've already finished it, so unless somebody has something else, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
let me see.
So I think my problem is I like those comic books where men were men and women were women, you know.
Well, I don't know if
Back
this
in the
one
old
is that
days.
one.
Yeah,
I could probably find
yeah, I was.
something like that. I could probably.
I imagine there were quite a few because I used to see a lot of them in the 60s.
Right.
You know, your boys' own tradition, you know, it's
Sure.
pretty ancient, isn't it?
I'll try to find something like that for you. But this is the one that's scheduled for next week,
Oh, this is Satania.
but it's way too big. I gotta do that. This is Satania.
Oh, this.
Now we did Beautiful Darkness, and this is by the same creators as that one. So I wanted to do this one. This is Satania. Satania. Here we go. Now this one, again, yeah, just absolutely, just absolute gorgeous watercolors here. This is a visual feast, but certainly. I mean, I just finished it about an hour ago.
Oh.
I just finished it about an hour ago. I finished the
How
whole
did you find it?
Oh, so this is scheduled for next week, unless we change now. Tell me now, but scheduled for next week. I really
next week.
think this. You're okay with it? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is quite a read. This is quite a read. Quite a read. I'm not going to spoil all of it, but
well plotted story, or like, is there like a philosophical, meaning?
Yeah, there's some philosophy we could discuss about this to next week. If we read all of it, and there's some philosophy that we could discuss. There's some points here. But this is what it is. It's this group of people, and they're obviously underground. They're obviously, caving. But yeah, at the beginning of the story, again, I'm not going to spoil it. If you're reading it, I want you to read it. I'm not spoiling it. But in the beginning, there's the question. Okay, who are these people? Who is this group of people? And why are they here? What are they doing? And very slowly they tell you. But I mean, I just think the artwork is beautiful, and there's a lot of conflict and conversation going on here, but just beautiful artwork, just gorgeous. I mean, it's a lovely read. So all of this that's happening here, and it just moves along. The thing just one thing after another in the story. No, I'm not going to spoil it. I promise I'm not going to spoil it. But as you can see, it's just a rip-roaring adventure of this group of cave explorers. And I actually like this when they collapse into the river, because you see the panel. It's a big panel, and it subdivides each time. Then it subdivides in half, and then it subdivides in half again, and then again. It's like it really gives you the experience of it. Yeah, but again, just beautiful artwork, and I really think it's just a fascinating, compelling story. It really is, of this this underground adventure. So this is just a preview of Satania for next week. And if we're
Oh, okay, cool.
acceptable, if that's acceptable for everybody, I've already finished it.
Yeah,
I might have to grab that download as well then. So,
Okay.
Metalia, did you manage to get 2009 in this morning, or?
just to be honest, I read just half of it. I haven't finished reading it. I
Oh,
stopped,
right, okay.
yeah, I stopped at the page where Orlando and Mina had sex. That's it. I haven't.
Now I spoiled it for you, though. Yeah. So,
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I expected it anyway.
okay, and the week after that is American Thanksgiving. The plan was to not have anything at all, but we could meet. I mean, so,
No, it's up to you. You know, if
Okay.
you want, or you want to take the time off. Do you have Thanksgiving with anybody besides your father?
No.
Your sister's not going to show up?
I haven't seen my sister in about 4 years.
Mm.
Not even sure where she is.
With your cat.
Well, in that case, yeah, I'll put something up. I don't know what, but I'll see. Okay, well, how about, something traditional for you, Stephen?
19th century themes.
I don't know what, but I'll think about it. What would be, a traditional? Yeah. I'll give it some thought. Maybe American flag.
Mm.
I'll think about it. Yeah, Satania next week. And since neither one of you were here when we did Beautiful Darkness, I would recommend that one as well.
Oh,
By
I
the
was,
same creators. You're muted.
but I didn't.
You're muted, Stephen.
I was there, but I didn't read it actually. I just hopped in the meeting. Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I was at the meeting for Beautiful Darkness, but I read
Yeah.
the comic book after that. Yeah, that was, I think, the same with Metalia.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There-
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think, that's right. Yeah, I remember. I think, but everybody else who was there didn't stick around. They haven't come back. But
Yeah, well, Metalia is getting into the Time Machine series, and it's quite a big series of movies. Have you seen all of them, David?
well, I mean, the first one was wasn't that a claymation one?
Animation.
No, I can't recall the claymation version of the Time
No.
Traveler.
Sure.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean the director,
Oh, Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen. Yes,
Or did he? I didn't know.
Ray
I
Harryhausen.
used to do all the old dinosaurs and stuff for the old films. Jason and the Argonauts was a famous one where he did all these skeletons and stuff like this. And I think Flesh Gordon. Have you ever seen Flesh Gordon? Not Flash Gordon.
I know Flash Gordon.
But Flesh Gordon's a porno film, which is a very good spoof of the science fiction genre. And that's I don't think it was actually Harryhausen in that, but it was using his stop motion ideas. Yeah. So when was the last time old Ray rode the waves? It must have been the 1960s or something like that. Until and by the time of Star Wars, you had the new wave methods of creating special effects coming in.
Okay, so it's 4. I have to get this in because I have to feed my cat. 4 time machine movies. 1960, Rod Taylor.
Mhm.
That was Ray Harryhausen, I believe. 1978.
Oh, 1970.
John
1970.
Beck and Priscilla Barnes. Oh, that's a made-for-television movie.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. There was a 1970 film, Time After Time.
1979. That's number 3. Time After Time.
That's another brilliant comedy drama.
Mary Steenburgen. I've
Which,
seen
oddly
that.
enough, she appeared in one of the Back to the Future films.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I've seen that. And
That's you'll love that. Yeah, very traditional.
And 2002 with
which was a
Guy
good
Pearce.
film, but
Gotta
not
get my
quite
cat.
up to the classic.
Mhm. I can't
There's
find the
Cats
2002
Gone Wild.
version.
Sorry, what's that?
I can't find the 2002 version of the full movie though. Mhm.
Oh, you mean to watch the whole film? Yeah, it might be a bit
Yeah.
difficult.
Uh,
You'd have to, see
Probably
it from
have
a
to buy.
pay site
yeah.
or something like that. Oh, it was pretty good film on its own, but not quite the classic that the original was.
Maybe it's better in like, I don't know, special effects wise, I guess. Yeah, which reminds me of the movie that Things to Come, which I just watched about an hour ago. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, I thought the
You
special.
said you watched. How much have you watched of it?
I think I stopped at about an hour of that movie because the movie's about like an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, right. So what part? That would be the time when he was going into the primitive village with the boss.
Yeah, he just started
The
to
pilot
enter the
lands his
village.
aircraft, and
Mhm.
so he represents the humanist order, which is wings over the world, and the boss is the old romantic sort of man, which they're out to annihilate, to
Yeah.
transform the entire world into a socialist paradise.
He was surprised that, like, we don't need machines, we don't need all this new law.
Oh no! It seems he wanted machines. No, the boss did want the technology and machinery, but they were, struggling to keep up. He had a fleet of biplanes. He wanted to get the biplanes back in the air to attack his enemies.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he mentioned that. Wait, let me just go back to the scene where. I can't remember the name of the woman now. That's his wife, I think. So this is like a prediction of the beginning of the 21st century, is it? Like
Things to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a book that came out in 1933, and it predicted World War II, but it didn't quite predict what would be the outcome.
And the wandering sickness probably is like coronavirus or
or some sort of plague that showed up.
Yeah, some sort of. I thought that was pretty cool.
So well, it was the airmen landed, I think, in the year 1966. So the World War II and all the after effects, the world had fallen into ruins in this alternate reality. And then 1966, I remember seeing it. I probably watched the film in 1966 was the first time I saw it.
Oh, when you were like 6 years old? Oh.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, yeah. But even though it's quaint, it's old-fashioned, it's as a story. I've realised just how important it is. That this is the humanist ideal that all the old stuff, religion and all the old stuff, heroic men, that's all of the past now. It's a new world of the technician and the Enlightenment, and they didn't realise the downfall. Of course, the big joke of it was that the boss clearly is Winston Churchill. Of Winston Churchill.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, he represented that really old world sort of British conquest sort of attitude, and he was the laughing stock.
Yeah.
Well, they regarded him as a laughing stock because he still believed in the empire in the interwar period from end of World War One to World War Two. He was in a very diminished reputation, and everyone laughed at him as a thing of the past. And this film is laughing at him in 1936.
Mm.
But then in 1940, Winston Churchill becomes the great hero when he tells British to resist the Nazis. So that's the irony. They thought they'd put Winston Churchill into the dustbin of history, and then 4 years later, he's the master of British history.
So you mean to say that, like, since humanist predates Christianity, and yeah, it's like they're sort of, throwing it in the dustbin, So
Well, you pick up that attitude from the humanists, don't you? That our noble
yeah.
brows, we're all the intellectuals, we're the Enlightenments, and the rest of you are just the troglodytes. We're the masters due to our superior minds and all that.
Because it's the
You
only.
pick that sort of vibe off them, have you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I started to actually think more about it, now, and I didn't really like, think through the effects on how like science and progress really just takes place. Hmm. I mean, like, yeah, I had this like conversation before as well with like the other Steven, and he said, I mean, like he said pretty much like the same thing that like David Miller said, that it's all like brainwashing, and yeah, I used to agree to that belief, but then after some time, I felt a little bit conflicted. I felt like probably like that doesn't that's not to say that you guys like are superior in any way. So yeah, well, what do you think of that though? I know that you think like all these rationalists and structuralists are they just
What's the matter, Matteo? Did you get out of the wrong side of bed this morning? You look a bit under the weather.
wrong side. No, I'm not. No.
Or maybe it was all the housework.
I'm just a bit tired from the housework.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm back.
You're back, have you? You're finished with the cat, have you?
Yeah, it's a project. Feeding this.
How long have you had the cat?
This one 4 years.
All right, we were discussing. I think one of the movies that you really have to see is the Things to Come, 1936.
Yeah, I don't think I
based on H.G. Wells' book, Shape of Things to Come, which I've never read. And you get the gist of it just
I thought
from
you've read
reading
it.
Sorry?
I thought you've read it.
No, I never read the book. I can actually remember being in the bookstore probably back in the 70s and getting out the book and looking at it and thinking it looks a bit dull. But yeah, I only know the story via the movie, which says enough. And even, articles about it make the big point about the whole storyline. But yeah, really, it's a must see. It's probably one of the whole question of humanism as it's projected in the modern world. It was very, very big in the 30s. The humanists thought that they had all the answers, and then they had World War II, you see, and that history pissed on them, and they didn't like it,
Yeah, maybe. I would put it on the movie night. Maybe. Wouldn't mind doing movies.
You can get the whole movie's on YouTube. You'll probably find the book online as well, or you can just read the Wikipedia article that makes a big point about the whole.
Twilight of the Cockroaches was on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, yeah, YouTube's a destination for a lot of stuff. So Natalia said she's watched about half of it.
Mm.
The shape of things to come projects. You know, H.G. Wells was a big time humanist, don't you, David?
Yeah.
You should be all up on this, you know. So he's, in a sense, he's Nietzsche's arch enemy, almost.
Also, this is the period of decadence that Nietzsche talked about, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he predicted some sort of, you know, a growing decadence in the, but, you know, he seemed to be claiming, what was it, the year 2000 where it had fully appeared.
Mm.
Well, you know, the humanist vision of the future is, you know, David, you must have come across it. They got the idea that, you know, technology and micromanagement of humanity and the humanist goodwill will take us to new heights.
Right.
Right. You think we'll get there?
Me personally, no, I don't.
So you're a pessimist.
People have called me that. Yeah.
Well, that's going soon to be made illegal. We'll start off with prison sentences and work out eventually a few executions of pessimists. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure that would happen, but
I'll probably say the thing that made Nietzsche particularly pessimistic was Darwinism. So this is trouble. Nietzsche, due to his intellect, had to believe the upshots of the 19th century, Newtonian physics, Darwinism, but he found the whole idea depressing. You know, as he points, even though he dislikes Christianity, it did have a few good points. And it said you, the individual soul, have a date with destiny, that you have a loving father up there and he might punish you a bit, but at the end of the day, you will be raised up. That's the story of Christianity, isn't it? Whereas Darwinism, what Darwinism is saying, the survival of the fittest, and that turns out who are the fittest? David, you tell me.
the fittest to survive.
Almost nobody in the long run. Eventually, it's only a very few lines that survive. So, you know, that's Nietzsche's look at himself and he realises he's hardly the fittest in physical terms. Maybe his intellect had a few good pointers.
Well, surprisingly enough, this is actually a lot of what's covered in our book next week, Satania. There's some of this information in there. A little bit. Yeah. There's a theme in there about what we're talking about now. In next week. Yeah.
Oh, well, I suppose anyway, I'll be going on to the existential talk and might get in a little bit of rest before that shows up. That's at 2:30 our time and 7:30 your time. So maybe we'll let David have a little rest and he might show up as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking
who knows?
Actually.
Yeah, I just mowed the lawn before this. You know, that's tucking me out for the rest of the day. But I woke up a bit lost from probably the effects of hay fever.
Hay fever.
Yeah.
Still take tablets.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I take the daytime and the nighttime types. And the Matalia is tired from all those hours of housework, so she'll need a rest as well.
Right.
So if you can drop the download for next week's, and I guess I'll pass it on to Matalia.
Oh, sure.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Right, and I guess I'll
we'll catch you all next week, I suppose.
On Monday.
Catch you later in the
Oh yeah, probably for Monday. Yeah. Okay. Lovely seeing you all. Catch you later.
Yeah. Too. Bye.
Bye.